Hello everybody and welcome to this Train Sim World 3 news video. Today we are having a look at the West Rhine Railway, or what is it, Linke Rheinstrecke, for Train Sim World 3. So let's dive straight in. As usual, it's PowerPoint because I'm lazy. So quick overview, it goes from Mainz to Koblenz in sort of western Germany along the Rhine River. It includes the BR 103 and 110 electric locomotives as well as associated coaches. Is 19 stations along 90 kilometers roughly. So lots of play there, and this is some route maps. I've done them myself, so please don't use them elsewhere. So the left hand map shows the rough route and the stations and the names, and the one on the right shows rough speed limits. Very rough, and all of this information is sourced from Open Railway Map. So it's probably a bit erroneous in places. So from the north to the south of the route, we've got Koblenz, Hauptbahnhof, Rennes, Spey, which I love that in a station name. Station called Spey, only in Germany. Boppard Hauptbahnhof, Boppard Bansalzig, Boppard Herzenach, St. Goar, Oberwessel, Kaub, Bacharach, Niederheimbach. Jesus, this is testing my German abilities. Not that I have any. Trechtingshausen, Bingen-Rhein Hauptbahnhof, Bingen-Rhein Stadt, Bingen-Galsheim, Gau-Algesheim, Ingelheim, Heidsheim, Ulleborn, Budenheim, Mainz-Mombach, and Mainz Hauptbahnhof. And on the right hand side we can see we start off from sort of Koblenz to just a little bit past Spey at 140. There are some other bits and pieces, some smaller reductions that I haven't shown here because otherwise it would be too hard to look at. Then from sort of between Spey and Boppard we go to 110, and we stay at 110 until just round St. Goar. That area with all the bumps next to that 90 in green is follows the river very closely, so it's a reason why it's quite bendy and thus a bit slower. Then we jump back up to 140, and then just before or just after Trechtingshausen we jump to 120 and stay there all the way until Bingen, where it's 160, all the way into Mainz, where it drops to 100. Of course, if you're doing a local service, you might not be getting up to these speeds very often because you're stopping, but that's sort of the flow of things. What I will point out as well is that there's a duplicate railway on the other side of the river. So there's the river, and this is on the west side of the river, hence West Rhine. And there's also, I think it must be that it makes sense for it to be the East Rhine Railway, and that goes on the other riverbank. So there's railways on both sides of the river, which I find amazing coming from Australia, where we can hardly build railways in the capital cities. Anyway, I'll have a look at the rolling stock now. So this is the Deutsche Bundesbahn Baureihe 103, or the BR 103. They were built between 1970 and 1973. 145 were built. They are Coco trains, so they've got 6 axles in total across 2 different bogies. Got a maximum power output of 7,440 kilowatts. They have a maximum speed of 200 kilometers an hour. They have power from the 15 kilovolts, 16 and 2/3 hertz AC overhead line equipment. They have CIFA, LZB and PZB. They were withdrawn in 2003, and they run intercity passenger trains with intercity coaches. So these trains, they are very nice to look at, and they're in a lovely sort of cream and burgundy livery, and they really are a classic German design. You think back to older novelty German trains, then they all sort of look like Zeppelins a bit in their own way, and it's no different here. It's very sort of 1950s futurism, that kind of stuff, which I think is really cool. Anyway, it looks fantastic, the modelling from this angle, so it should be exciting to see how this comes along. Next, we have the Deutsche Bundesbahn Baureihe E10, which is the BR110. These were built from 1956 to 1969, so some of them are very old, and you can see they certainly don't look modern, even though I think they look pretty cool. 416 of them were built, which is a lot for one type of train. They have Bobo, so 4 axles spread across 2 bogies. Maximum power output of 3,700 kilowatts, a maximum speed of 120 and 140 kilometers an hour. It depends on the specific type of unit. I'd be guessing the ones we get are perhaps the 120 kilometer an hour version. They also draw power from the 15 kilovolt, 16 and 2/3 hertz AC overhead line equipment, and they've only got CFA and PZB, so no LZB on these units. They were withdrawn in 2000, and they will run freight and local passenger trains. As you can see, this screenshot that we have, it's sort of cut off, but you can see the N wagons behind. So, because we know that these trains were withdrawn in 2000, we know that this route is set sometime before 2000. So it's cool that we're getting one of the first... I don't know when Bremen was set, but this is probably before Bremen. So we're certainly getting some nice old attraction and a nice old route for the game. One thing I will note is it doesn't look like that pantograph is actually touching the catenary or the contact wire there. Anyway, I'll have a look at the coaching stock now. This is the N Wagon. These were built between 1959 and 1980. Got a maximum speed of between 120 and 140 kilometers an hour based on the model. They're unpowered, they're trailer cab cars, well, they're trailers or trailers with cab cars. Some of them don't have cab cars in them, obviously, some of them do. And they have CFA and PZB and run with the 110s, and they operate local passenger trains. The next unit, or the next coaching stock is the AVMZ and BVMZ Eurofema coach. These were built between 73 and 77, got a maximum speed of 200 kilometers an hour. They're also unpowered, and they run on the intercity passenger trains. We already have these coaches in the game. They came with the DBBR 101, and these are the intercity coaches. Yeah, so they run up and down Hamburg to Lübeck and Essen and what else? Rice, Dresden, all that kind of stuff. So, and also Kassel, Würzburg. So they're fairly widespread already with layers. It would be good to see them making an appearance in a sort of more heritage, well, not heritage, but closer to when they were introduced, because they were introduced in 1977, which, you know, because they're still in use and they're still going strong. So yeah, very amazing that kind of old stock is still in regular use up to 200 kilometers an hour. So here are some cool features of the route. So getting some new German coaching stock with the N wagons. Well, they might not be new. I have absolutely no idea what's included in Bremen, by the way. So some of this stuff could be just completely copy and pasted from Bremen. I don't know. I don't have Bremen. I've never played it. I haven't really looked at it for whatever reason. We got a new German cab car, and it's a very picturesque route. And yeah, it's a period historical route, and we don't have many. Again, I don't know if Bremen is, but it's the first. If Bremen isn't, this is the first German historical route. So yeah, it should be nice. It's a very picturesque route, as you can see. Well, the next couple of slides have actual photos. I believe this is Mainz Hauptbahnhof station in the background. So the future implications of this is the start. Well, it might not be, but it shows that there's potential for a lot more historical German routes. Hopefully as well, this will lead into a German steam route sometime in the future, because, you know, pre-war or post-war, I don't think they'll do anything during World War II, because, you know, there'd be some interesting artworks displayed at the stations, shall we say, with interesting designs with with a certain red, white, and black logo. I can't actually say what they are on YouTube because I'll get smacked down with all kinds of demonetization, but I assume you know what I mean. And we've also got new heritage traction to add to that from Bremen and other routes, and by heritage traction I mean just older units. It's nice to have a break from the Traxxas that you can see in the background of this screenshot. It's nice to have a break from the Euro Sprinters and all of that kind of stuff, and just get back in touch with a sort of mechanical train, one that you can really master. There's no computers getting in your way of the driving experience. And finally, I suspect the release will come sometime after February. There's already quite a lot of stuff coming out soon, so I think it'll be after that. And with that, that is the end of this Train Sim World 3 news video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting or learnt something from it. If you have, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.